before we start the video, please go check out some of my other ones after, of course, you watch this one. Also, please consider liking and subscribing. Alright, let's get back to it. Fnaf is a very, very big franchise. Nowadays, it's mainstream. It's easy to tell what's real and what's not. But let's travel back to 2014, and when Fnaf first dropped, everybody was on that. And after the first game, speculation about the sequel started to begin, and many people pondered over what the game could look like. And after that, the third installment of the franchise is even more of a mystery. So, what do people do? They take advantage of people's curiosity and bliss. Also, during that time, a lot of Fnaf fans were children, so it was kind of easy to lie and spread false information and teasers on the internet, and quote-unquote secret animatronics. I'm not gonna lie, when I was younger, I always found fake Fnaf teasers to be something interesting, and I always liked looking at them because 1, I knew they were fake, and 2, it was interesting to see what people came up with. I wanted to go over some of the best fake Fnaf teasers, some that are just so bad that they're good to others that seemed really believable. Let's travel back to a simpler, nostalgic time in Five Nights at Freddy's. Okay, so let's get the so bad that they're good ones out of the way. We have this destroyed marionette. Now, a lot of people thought that for some reason the marionette was going to be destroyed in the third game. And when this image started surfacing on the internet, a lot of people believed it. But come on, just look at it. How would that even make sense? The marionette is not even an animatronic. It's just a bunch of stuffing. So how would it have wires and an endoskeleton? The destroyed animatronics is a very common theme for fake teasers. For some reason, everyone thought that the FNAF 2 animatronics were going to be just mangled and messed up in the third game. But, like I said earlier, most of the fans were younger and, we believe stuff, but by looking at it now, you can see how obviously fake it is. Shout out to whoever made this one though, if you're watching. Moving on, we're sticking to the same theme here. We have a very destroyed balloon boy. Now, like the marionette, it was common for these teasers to have a sort of a withered vibe to them. Now, what makes this fake teaser just a little bit more believable than the marionette? Well, BB actually is an animatronic with wires and a missing arm. It would look pretty cool on him and make more sense. It was certainly a change of pace for his character though, changing from this nice clean animatronic to this corrupted broken one, but once again, it comes back to how it would make sense in the story. How would BB go from this to this? I'm also throwing in this evil red-eyed looking BB because it's kind of like the same thing, but only this time he looks more menacing. I don't want to rank this one lower or higher because I consider them the same type of animatronic idea. Now, I know I flew through these three kind of fast because, well, there really isn't much to say about them. They're obviously fake and they don't stand out as much as some of the other ones on this list, so I don't want to waste time talking about these three because, well, they're not that really interesting to me. Of course, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you guys agree with me or do you find them interesting? Next, we have a fake map teaser, which is this store image. Now, this image is roaming the internet, and many people believe that this would be how the office of FNAF 3 would look like, or perhaps for the first time ever during this period, be introduced to a free roaming mechanic that many fans, including myself, really wanted. So when this image was surfacing around, it looked believable. Also, what added to this was the fact that there were two doors once again, with no signs of closing them, so we all thought that Scout would put doors that can't be closed again, since that was a very successful mechanic in the second game. In this image, if you look closely, it looks to be a shadow animatronic, or at least a silhouette of one in the left door. It also has a noticeable red 3 at the bottom right corner to kind of give it a little bit more credibility of being real. But, my FNAF friends, this one was fake. Looking at this now is kind of funny because think about it. Scott was the only one working on FNAF at the time, so the only person that could leak an image about the next FNAF would be him. But, shout out to whoever made this one, at least he fooled some people. Okay, next we have this one. A quote-unquote new animatronic. It is one of just a guy. Now, when this image was floating around the internet, many people thought it was real. Personally, I never fell for this one, but I can see how a lot of people can fall for it because the model was made pretty well, so it would look like something to be a part of the next FNAF game. Another reason why people thought it was real was because the guy kind of looked like Markiplier, who was and still is a very big FNAF YouTuber. Plus, he's known as the king of FNAF, so it wouldn't make sense that Scott would put him in the next game, as a shout out to Markiplier, but by also giving us fans a little Easter egg of a real life person. A game that actually includes him though is in popular FNAF fan game Five Nights at Candy's. They designed him to have his pink mustache as a little Easter egg. The way to activate him was to click on a kid's drawing in Blank's room, and in front of you, an animatronic version of him would appear on a little computer screen. He would then go on to say, "I am the king of Five Nights at Freddy's," in a very distorted voice, so pretty cool Easter egg. But coming back to this, a human animatronic would be pretty creepy and scary in the FNAF universe, so maybe in the future, who knows, but isn't Gregory like a robot, so does that count? This next one has a little bit of history to it. A lot of people mistook this one to be a wolf and called him Wolfie, but in fact this was an animatronic from a fan game I mentioned earlier called Five Nights at Candy's, and this is Candy the cat. There's actually another animatronic that looked very similar to this one called the Sugar the cat. Now you're probably thinking similar, no, this is literally the same animatronic, just no tie and it's gray. You would be right. The story goes that the creator of another fan game, The Return to Freddy, stole the idea of Candy and just changed the name and its color, claiming that they were the first to invent the idea of a cat animatronic. Five Nights at Candy's was not that big during this time, so the creator of TRTF stole the animatronic, hoping people wouldn't notice or hoping that they would believe him. But of course, the internet does its research and called them out for it. Personally, I think Five Nights at Candy's is a better fan game, but who's asking? So yes, these two images of the same animatronic were being spread around, and people thought that a different type of animatronic was going to be in the third game. It made sense because we already had a bear, bunny, chicken, and a fox, so adding a cat or a wolf didn't seem very far-fetched. And like the human animatronic, these two models were done very well, giving the credibility of them possibly being real. But by looking at them, you can tell they were fake, because even though yes, it would make sense, just for some reason, it would be like something Scott wouldn't add to the next game. But shout out to Emil, Five Nights at Candy's really well done trilogy, and I hope the fourth one comes out soon. Really looking forward to it. When the I Am Still Here image was first released officially by Scott himself, it gave us our first real look at Fnaf 3, but we didn't know who was the animatronic and who was still here. Many fans are speculating as to who it could be in this image. A very popular theory was that we were looking at Fredbear, a then mysterious animatronic and a blurry past in the Fnaf universe. People combined the half face and made a whole face out of it. Everyone thought that we were finally going to meet Fredbear. It was an exciting time. The theory made sense, but the line didn't really make sense for it to be him though, because he wasn't in the first game or in the second game officially, so how could he always be here if he was never here to begin with? The reason why this one is above the human animatronic and Candy is because this was an official teaser image by Scott, so people faking something and create a ruse out of it just counts a little bit more, and plus it made more sense having a demonic looking Fredbear, but it wouldn't be until Fnaf 4 that we would meet him officially. But once again, we were wrong. In this image, it was in fact Springtrap, who was still here, and being purple guy, William Afton, it made sense. He was in the first FNAF and in the second installment, so yes, in fact, he was always here. It would have been cool to see a withered version of Fredbear, but Springtrap was and still is a fan favorite animatronic, so you can't be mad at it. He's also my favorite too. This next one was another FNAF 3 hoax, and it copied the official FNAF 2 teaser. We have this futuristic Freddy, who looks more like an android than an animatronic, by exposing more of his endoskeleton on his hand and more in his mouth. A nice detail in this image is how his eyes are red and have more of a hollow look to them and make him more menacing than the Freddy we know. A big thing in FNAF at the time was that the next game was going to be taking place far in the future, and that the animatronics were also going to be somewhat futuristic. This was also during the time of the free roaming speculations. To be able to move around, it was very awesome. In a way, we were right, to an extent. FNAF 3 takes place 30 years in the future from the first game, but instead of a nice, clean, futuristic animatronics, it was the opposite, with a very broken, withered animatronic in Springtrap. But when this image was circulating the internet, a lot of people thought that Freddy from FNAF 2 that was all beaten up in the back was going to be refurbished and turned into this. But instead, we got Phantom Freddy. Pretty cool though, but it would have been cool to see a futuristic, somewhat evil Terminator-looking Freddy. But whoever made this one, good job. The last one was lesser known, but now we are headed to the Dark Tunnel, top of the mountain, the best of fake FNAF teasers. And one of the most memorable ones we have is the new / restored Bonnie. Now, when this image was first being thrown around, people thought that in FNAF 3, Bonnie was going to be back, but given that his whole face was missing, we were all under the assumption that he was going to be restored with a new look to him and an entirely different color. Now, what makes this teaser better than the Candy and human animatronic was because this one misled a lot of people. It was a well done model. To this day, it's still a mystery as to who or what this model's from. Most likely, just some really good fan edit of Bonnie. The reason why a lot of people believed this was real was because Bonnie was and still is a fan favorite. We had some hope that he would come back in FNAF 3. When we all saw him beat up in FNAF 2, it hurt. It would have been pretty cool to see him make a comeback. This also opened up the door for the other animatronics to come back for the third installment, like maybe Chica and Freddy and Foxy would come back nice and refurbished. I mean, a lot of people really wanted Bonnie in FNAF Security Breach, but when we found out what happened to him, we were all devastated. In FNAF 3, technically Bonnie isn't in the game, it's Springtrap. Springtrap is like a bunny, but it's not Bonnie. In FNAF 4 though, we got a demonic nightmare version of him, which is still pretty cool, but we haven't seen the lovable creepy bunny in his true form since Help Wanted, so it's been a while. If the person who made this is watching, well done, you will forever go down in fake FNAF teaser history. Sparky the dog was not a teaser, but more of a hoax. Sparky was a fan-made animatronic that someone made just for fun. This image went viral, and a lot of people didn't know the context behind it, so it was deemed the secret animatronic, aka Sparky the dog. This image was so popular that it even made it to the official FNAF wiki. Sparky was added as an official character in the game. Now that was crazy, the fact that a fan-made edit was so well done that it was added to the official wiki. That's crazy. And well, when rumors of Sparky being real were being thrown around, the reason why a lot of people believed it was because Golden Freddy was a secret animatronic, so why couldn't there be two secret animatronics? Plus, Sparky the dog was a good name, and something like that sounds like it would be in the game. The legend of Sparky would be short-lived, because while a lot of other clickbait FNAF YouTubers would make videos on Sparky claiming he was real, basically lying as to how to activate him, from staying on Cam 5 for a certain amount of time, or completing the game and then he would just out of nowhere be added into it, it was all a bunch of disappointment chips. But a lot of other real FNAF YouTubers who actually cared about the community made videos about this subject, one of them being xxProClassGamerxx, who made a video talking about this situation and basically debunking it. If you've ever wondered what happened to xxProClassGamer and what was the cause of his disappearance, check out my video on him right here. But Sparky gained a lot of traction, and since then people wanted him in the game, and hopefully in the future Scott decides to put him in, or Steelwool does, or even makes a reference to him. That'd be pretty cool. But it's been like 9 years, so let's hope that it happens. Keep believing, guys. This next one is once again not a teaser, but it is a must when you're talking about all things fake FNAF. It is the purple guy animatronic. In early 2015, a strange YouTube video was uploaded, and it showed some gameplay of FNAF 2. Nothing crazy, something normal, but in one instance in the video, the phone was ringing, and when it was done, for a really quick second, you could see this image. A purple thing slouched over on the left side of the office, with wide eyes and blood covering it. It was slouched over in the same position of how Golden Freddy is. Now, what followed was crazy. Everyone, including myself, believed this because the video seemed legit, and Purple Guy is the main villain of the entire FNAF storyline. Everything is connected to him, so a creepy-looking, blood-covered animatronic version of him in FNAF 2 was not crazy at all. The FNAF YouTube scene and all the fans tried figuring this one out, how to activate him, and what exactly did this mean to the story. This, of course, was a mixed debate. Some people thought it was fake, and others believed it to be real. A lot of people thought that you had to be playing the game on the 6th night and have the marionette ready to pop up and kill you, but pray that when you look to the left of your office that he'd pop up. But of course this was fake. It was edited because it was a Golden Freddy body with Chica's head and of course colored purple with a security badge on it and some blood. For the time, it was a good edit and fooled a lot of people. This was released when the game was just 1 week old, so the secrets are not found. But like I've said before, whoever made this, shout out to you. You will also be in FNAF history. And now, the final teaser in this video, the best of the best concept and idea for a FNAF game that eventually kind of became true in the future. It is Five Nights at Freddy's 3, Welcome to Freddy Land. Now, when this image was flying across the internet, a lot of people loved the idea that FNAF 3 could take place in a giant amusement park. And just by looking at it, it looked really cool. The roller coaster, the Ferris wheel, and the big looming marionette face over the entire park. A lot of fans played with the idea that FNAF 3 would be bigger and better than the previous two, but how? By literally being a FNAF version of Disneyland. What made this teaser look real was because it was so simple. It wasn't like the other ones. It wouldn't be so crazy and unbelievable that the Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Company would, in one last attempt at saving their brand, that they would go all out and open an amusement park. But in a way, we did get Freddy Land in Security Breach. The whole premise of Security Breach is basically an indoor amusement park gone wrong, so maybe this fake teaser is what an early version of Security Breach could have looked like, and maybe it even inspired the game. That was a lot to unpack, but it felt nice going down memory lane and looking at these old pictures and theories many people had on them. I enjoyed making this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching as well. Let me know down below in the comments, what was your favorite fake teaser from this video, or if you have one that's not even included in here. I would love to read it. Also, please consider liking and subscribing. Check out some of my other videos if you feel like it. Okay, I'll catch you in the next one, and remember, don't believe everything you see. Peace out.